self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am surprised that white people still don't understand the concept of wild animals, also known as Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another fantastic episode. You can find me, Mr. On Point, on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists, and we will respond that way. We don't have a question.
Before we get into that, though, for the last few weeks, I just wanted to say again, thank you to Michael and Colin for joining us and giving us a lively debate and joining our show and just making it, better. So
whoever we have that, what was the one in Mumbai?
Twisted Tresses.
No, Twisted Tresses, but we have somebody that listens that's in Africa. I want to talk to them.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. If you're listening right now, you're in
Mozambique.
Africa.
We got to
Mozambique, that's what it was.
Number something rated comedy podcast or something like that.
I would love to do that. That would be amazing.
But Miss Twisted Tresses, we will be communicating with you next to get on the show to talk about some of your religious experiences.
I'm excited about that.
To Jehovah's Witness.
Yes, excited. We didn't get a letter this week, but I had a situation. So I have not been on the dating apps because they're shit. And I'm frustrated with just dating in general. I'm trying not to give up on the whole idea. But I'm also really tired. So I haven't been on there in a while. And so I told the story on here about the basketball player, Slim. And I think I mentioned that every 6 months he'll contact me for no reason.
I don't think you ever name dropped.
Oh, well, it's dropped now.
Okay, yeah, it is now. It's dropped.
I'm gonna fuck. So he contacts me every 6 months and just kind of tests out, I guess, to see if there's a possibility. Now keep in mind this. And I hope he listens. I don't know if he even knows about the show. If he does, I hope he listens and hears. We will never, ever, ever in life date again. We could be the last two people and the human race would end with us. Okay? No fucking way.
What about, so no dating, but what about sex?
No.
Hot sex. Sweaty sex.
Y'all should see his face right now. He's saying this shit. That's why it's funny. No, because here's the thing about me and when I like somebody versus when shit go wrong and we ain't rocking no more. I don't find them attractive like that no more. I was with it. I thought he was the sexiest person I've ever seen in my life when I was with him. Now I look at him and I just see bitches.
Like Jabba the Hutt.
Basically, it just ain't.
But I'm just saying, if it was up to you and him to populate the rest of the world, or for human race to go extinct,
I don't want him touching me.
It's over.
Yeah, I just can't.
What about he use a jar over here?
Nigga, no, I don't want to do that with nobody. It's gross.
So okay, well, hope you ain't the last one left for the fucking human race.
Don't make it be him. Give me somebody else. Shit. They
gonna give your ass the biggest, slimiest, greasy white man that you ever.
Yeah. We all get into that, but
ever.
Anyhow, it'll never happen. The way that my psyche is set up, and I know that it's it's a way of me protecting myself. If it does not work out for whatever reason, good or bad, the way my shit is set up, I don't find you sexually attractive anymore. I just don't. I can't. I physically cannot. I don't give a fuck how much sex we've had in the past. I don't care how long we had sex for. It doesn't matter. At that point, I don't want you touching me. The idea isn't even appealing. It just ain't how I'm set up. It's not how I'm set up. I have to like you for me to be like really sexually attracted to you on some level. It don't have to be like love, but I need to like you as a person on some level, and I don't like him as a person no more.
That's what that's my theory. Listen, it is men out there who have this automatic level of attraction that women automatically like, and the same for men to women, but that's built into like our beauty standards that we have in our society. The more a person likes you, like the more like points you have, the less attractive points you have to have.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's accurate.
Like if they like you, if they like you on a level 10 and you a 0, then you still a 10 to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you a 5 and you got 5 like points, that puts you at a 10.
It does.
And you know, that's why, like, if you're not what society traditionally looks at as beautiful, and we'll use me for example. I'm a big guy.
Use you.
I'm a big guy. That is what I'm gonna. That's just outside of the level of acceptable beauty standards. Okay. I'm 325 pounds.
You don't even look that big.
I know I don't look that big. Everybody say I don't look that big. I weigh 325 pounds. Okay.
It's crazy.
And I'm bald. Going bald, and I don't like my head ain't shaved 100% of the time. Sometimes you can see my hair shadow and the part that don't grow.
Your hair shadow.
You know, my beard, while it's a beard and it's immaculate, mostly because it's a beard, there are beards that are a lot more cooperative than mine. Like my beard is disrespectful to me. My beard be like, put that brush down, just slap the brush out of my hand. You know, and so I'm just saying from that. I've worked on other things about myself. Yeah. That personality wise and charm wise and communication wise that might make people give me those points.
And I feel like that's why it's a lot of super attractive assholes. Like, cause they don't have to work on that other shit. Exactly. They don't have to be nice. They don't have to be like cool. They don't have, because their level of beauty is so high that they never had to work on those things.
Exactly. There is a high correlation with that.
Yeah.
And that's why you have dudes that are jerks, who are attractive, who can wrangle up women to have sex with, and not, and it just be a whole cycle of this group of dudes messing up women, and the dudes who ain't doing that, you know, we second. we next. It's just the nature of how shit goes. You know,
but,
that's a theory
I say this all the time. Like, I need to go on our Facebook page and post like some young red photos. I was a weird looking kid. I was a weird looking teenager. I was very teeny tiny.
I want to say something.
Go ahead, okay.
We've been saying for 2 goddamn years, I'm gonna post this on the page. We need to post this on the page. And ain't a goddamn thing been posted on that page.
I really want to do this one though, because I feel like.
Let me set a motherfucking. I'm gonna set a reminder right now.
We're so shit about social media. Like, we are the absolute worst.
We probably gonna have so many more people listening to this damn podcast, and we just put a ounce.
We just not social media people though. Like, I just ain't that person, but. And the reason why I want to do that is because I feel like the level of attractiveness that people feel like I have now don't match what I done had my whole life. And so sometimes I feel like when I'm talking about being weird and looking weird and not like having good luck with boys and shit, people are like, what? And it's like, nigga, no, like I looked weird. I was a weird fucking kid.
So this is the thing. I work in schools, you know, and I'm going into schools. Now, there's a big difference between the schools in the white neighborhood and the schools in the black neighborhood, because I know this is going to sound bad, but I really do feel like not having access to decent food and eating shit that's been injected with all kind of stuff is making the kids in the poor communities grow faster. Yep. Versus, because if you go to Hoover High School, kids look damn like kids.
Yeah, as opposed to going to like Woodlawn.
If you go to any school with a name on it. Okay, Parker, Carver, Jackson, Olin. If you go to any school with a name on it, the kids in there are like, they're like built. Like the girls, like I went into a school, the dude had to be 6'8". You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My brother was 6'7" in high school, so I guess that ain't surprising to me. But and so their bodies are built, and so when you look at them, you know, you think that they are adults, but they kids. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm in no way attracted to a child at all, no matter what they got. But because psychologically, I know that they're
it's
a child.
Yeah.
But when I see them walking and moving about, they just don't walk with confidence. They don't walk. But if a teacher walk in that mother, like the level of confidence that teachers walk around with, like what grown women have that kids don't have, that's why I could like this. I just don't understand that part of pedophilia.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of it is that, you know, just being an adult and having the confidence and experience and knowing what you know, and the way you move about in the earth is just automatically gonna create an appeal that kids ain't got.
Yeah. Well, but also I feel like I'm you know how like some people start out beautiful. Like you had those people in high school that everybody want. Like I feel like I'm doing that backwards, which is better for me because I feel like at this age being a more attractive or like I guess a more what society would deem whatever. I feel like I can handle it better as opposed to being a teenager having like all of these people interested in me. Like I feel like I would have been overwhelmed with that as opposed to now where I'm like, fuck out my face. Leave me alone. But I was a weird, like, very weird looking kid and very weird looking teenager. And so because of that, I like to think I'm cool. You know, I hope the people that are friends with me think that I'm cool. Niggas always want to be friends. Like, I get friend zoned so fucking much. It's unbelievable because I'm such a good friend. I'm an amazing parently friend. It's great. It's amazing. Anyway, I say all that to say back to him. I don't even know how I got off on that tangent, but we're gonna get back to. So he contacts me, called my phone, and I was at work, and I'm like, the fuck is he calling me for? So I couldn't answer at the time, and I called him back, and he was like, I got a bone to pick with you, and I'm like, nigga, what the fuck possibly could you have? Like, first of all, I ain't talked to you in months, and secondly, I mean, it ain't shit that I could do. Like, what? And he was like, you didn't swipe on me on Tinder. And I was like, what? He was like, you didn't swipe on me on Tinder. And I was like, first of all, I've never even seen your fucking ass on. I didn't even know you're on Tinder. And I ain't been on Tinder. Like, that was the day I started sending all those
So this is recent.
This was this week, yeah. When I started sending out on profile, because I hadn't been on Tinder because I was like, fuck it, I'm tired. But that call prompted me to get on there, and it reminded me why I had stopped swiping. But I'm like, nigga, I mean, I haven't been on there, so like you probably saw me and swipe, because you know, sometimes when you swipe on somebody and it don't get a match, it's because that person hadn't seen you yet and swiped. Mm-hmm. It's not because they swipe left on you or whatever.
They need a scene part of Tinder, so
you'll know. Like, they saw you, but it wasn't no match. Because you don't know if it's because they haven't seen you or because they just wasn't interested. But he apparently thought that because he swiped and it wasn't an auto. First of all, I would have swiped left on him. Let's just... The idea that you think that if I did see you on Tinder that I would swipe right on you is fucking hilarious. Nigga, no. Why would I do that? What would even make you think that would have been the case? Like... But this was just his way of having a reason to call me because we go through this every 3 to 6 months. He just does this. And I was like, nigga, I haven't been on there, so that's probably why. Like, I didn't even know you were on there. I'm surprised that you're on. Because listen, he gets plenty of vagina without being on dating websites. He did anyway when we were dating. So, I
mean, he got the recipe. You know?
He does, but
he's really was really skinny.
He's not as skinny,
but he was tall.
He's like
at that
6'8",
point. But I'm saying, even being skinny,
mm-hmm.
which a lot of women don't like, the height make up for that. That's just his made up. And you know, he's a regular brown skinned dude with, you know, no flaws. You know, one of his ears ain't fucked up, or you know, he ain't got like a bottom teeth look like a fence.
No,
you know, he got the basic shit where women would be like, oh yeah, him.
But he also is that person who he's always been tall, he's always been athletic. He that person who was like a fuckboy because he didn't have to be like cool or none of them things. Like, and
but that take work. If you wake up in the morning and walk outside and it's a woman just like, hey, I want to be with you, and you had to do nothing for it,
yeah.
Why the fuck would you ever? Why would you ever work for being worth a damn?
True, he never did.
Like if somebody just walked to my door and gave me an amount of money I work for every month, I ain't working. The fuck I look like doing work? I mean, clearly I can make more, but that ain't how human race work.
It isn't.
I'm chilling.
So he one of them people who was just chilling. Like he has a natural charisma. I'll give him that. But like, one of the things that I remember most about being with him is that I had to dumb shit down. Like, this shit we talk about on the podcast, these intellectual conversations, never happened with him. Never happened. Not capable of doing it.
Have to explain shit to niggas.
Have to
Skittles.
explain, like, God damn, my nigga. Listen, yeah, you have to break everything down to
Okay, so take 3 yellow Skittles and 2 red Skittles. And he done ate the Skittles by this time. Like, oh shit, God damn it. Why you always eating the Skittles?
He that person, absolutely, yeah. So
I ain't talked about him to know that about him, so I'm speaking in general terms.
You never talked to him? You never had no interactions with him?
No.
He hung out with Rob. I don't know why I thought he was in the group of like gaming folks.
Listen, the link that connected all of us was Halo 2.
Yeah.
We network played it on the game. After we stepped out that apartment, I ain't even speak to Rob. Me and Rob don't got nothing in common. Me and Ronnie don't got nothing in common.
Ronnie, another one of them people that like he ain't never had to do nothing. He got light skin, light eyes. Bitches just flock to him. And
me and Paul didn't really have anything in common, but we have a slight edge of nerdiness.
Yeah.
But you know,
Paul much more so.
But he was a kind person, and it was easy to be friends with him. You know,
Paul's
but
sweet. So
Slim played every now and then. Jamal played every now and then. But outside of that, like, those were basketball team dudes.
Yeah.
They and Sigmas.
Yeah.
None of that identifies me. Like, I played basketball and I probably played on the court with Slim before. But I was just the fat dude that played ball. Like me and Cheese.
Oh, Cheese.
We were the fat dudes that played ball. And everybody knew us as the fat dudes that played ball. Cheese was good in the post, and I was quicker than I looked. That's kind of how we played it.
Jesus.
So, I mean, I had interactions with all these people, but outside of the court, I'm not the kind of person that need that interaction.
Okay.
I don't need Rob to say, hey, what's up, Mr. On Point? I don't need none of them to say that. So I pretend like they don't exist outside of Halo.
You wouldn't have had nothing in common with him. Because, he's a pretty face. That's about it. There's nothing up there.
I had some kind of connection with JoJo at some point.
Oh, God.
I think he was one of them dudes that could get stuff for the low. So I think that's how my connection with him
another
came.
Pretty face.
Like, for some reason, I had been to his apartment before, and I cannot remember why. Like, this was after AUM. Like, not all the way after AUM, but like after I had graduated and came back.
Probably to pick up something he had.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because Joe stayed scheming now. But that nigga was a hustler.
Well, I'm saying all that to say that, you know, for my part of this dialogue is
based off of what I've said.
Paul had a wedding during this time, you know, and he invited one of the guys there, and he didn't come. Like, he just at the last day, he had his tux and all that. He said he wasn't coming.
That's so fucked up.
And it ruined a relationship. And I had to have a conversation with Paul about the idea that, you know, what you consider friends in this situation is not like, we weren't connected by the things that would make somebody value your vows and your process of, you know, your mate. Like, we didn't connect on that level. I would not call any of them to come pick me up.
Hell no.
Or to help me with a flat tire. Not because they wouldn't do it. It's because I'm not sure. I'm sure that if you ain't got shit to do and I call you, I'm positive you gonna come.
I've come before when you've been on the
I know you have. That's why I know it's gonna happen. You ain't asked no questions. You said I'm on my motherfucking way.
Yeah.
I feel like that for Shogun, Cole Jackson, Leroy, and Cliff. I feel like that for all of them. That's Nerd Plate and
government name.
I feel like if they're available, they will help me with trouble, and I will help all of y'all with trouble in that case.
Yeah.
But like, I for certain can't say that it was like that with any of those guys.
Yeah, I can
you know.
see that.
So it's like the things that I think I have an appropriate, probably under-measured appropriate gauge of my relationships and interactions. I know who to trust. I know who is dependable.
Yeah.
I know who is a leech. I know all of those things, to the point that I know who to ask for what, know who not to ask for what, know who gonna come to me for something, know who, when they come to me for something, who gonna give it back and who gonna keep it. So I have a decent gauge of that, but that's kind of, I keep busting in your story, but you can continue. This all started from Slim.
It did.
And my
Contacted
connection, or lack of connection with him. Go ahead.
But anyhow, so he's upset about me, and I'm like, nigga, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been on there, and that's probably why it's not that big of a deal. And so then, of course, because that was just his like way in, he was like, so how you been? Just this regular shit. And I'm like, I'm at work, but I've been cool. And he was talking about, I was like, why are you on Tinder anyway? Because again, he been getting bitches since bitches been got. Okay, he don't need to be on no social media at all. It's not what he don't need that. And he was like, well, I broke up with the young lady that I was with, about 4 months ago, and I just decided to give this a try. Now, in my mind, I know 4 months ago you was on my phone. So what you're telling me is that when you was on my phone, you were also in a relationship that you didn't mention, but it's all right. Go off. So I was like, oh, okay. The dating apps kind of suck, but good luck, whatever. And he always cannot have a conversation with me without mentioning sex, which is offensive to me, because at a point in our relationship, or probably for most of our relationship, that was the only value that I held to him. And that's not me being like, oh, woe is red. That's just, that's what it was. Like, that was the value that I held in his life, or in my purpose. So it's offensive when you still doing this shit. This is not attractive. Stop doing that. So somehow he was mentioning how, it had been, I don't know how long, 9 months to a year since he had sex. Don't even know how it came up. So I was like, well, that's unusual for you. He was like, oh, damn, what does that mean? I was like, nigga, what you mean? Like a year without you fucking somebody? Unusual. He was offended. I don't give a fuck. Like, why are you calling me with this nonsense anyway? So then that led into this long, I just let him have his little monologue. He was like, well, Red, I know you probably hate my guts, and you should. I completely understand why you would hate me, because I was such a fuck boy to you, and I was, I that's one of my biggest regrets in life, is that, I didn't put more into us, and I didn't, you're gonna always be the one that got away, and the one that I always, I should have done so much better, but I just want to get to know who you are today, and I want you to get a chance to get to know me and see who I am today, because I've grown. Nigga, bye. All of this sounds like some shit you would have said when we were still dating. Like, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not gonna do this with you. Like, I have no desire to get to know who he is. And the thing about it is, I hope he has changed, because he was an asshole, and he was like king of the fuckboys. He absolutely was. So for his own sake, I hope he has changed. And for whoever he ends up with, I hope he has changed. But that bitch is not gonna be me. He not gonna end up with me. And so I say all of this whole long story is just interesting to me, how people feel like, they look back and feel like, oh, the one that got away. So do you have somebody in your life that you feel like is like, oh, she's the one that got away, I should have, that should have worked out?
No.
That was quick.
No. That thought comes from a place of the ball not being in your court, right? I've not had one of those relationships where I've been on the underside of that situation. Like, I've not fucked anybody over.
Okay.
I've not been in a situation where I was like, damn, I let her get away. I mean, there's situations that I wish I would have explored, but I didn't see the signs, and or something was going on that kept me from embarking on this thing that might have been positive. Mm-hmm. But I don't even see that as the one that got away. I think the essence of the one that got away is that you did some shit. You know? And, I mean, kind of, because like when somebody get away, it's like, when I think of somebody getting away, I think of a kidnapper holding somebody and they like breaking loose and then getting the fuck on. He's like, that shit, bitch got away. That's what I think. So you already fucking up when somebody is in a position to have to get away. I don't put people in that position. I don't think. Yeah. The situations that I fucked up on, they kind of just have dissolved. But it wasn't really that I did anything overt. It's just been.
You went out here hoeing around.
I went around. I mean, communication errors, issues with the amount of time that it normally take me to fucking figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to figure out when it comes to a relationship. Motherfuckers get tired of that shit and be like, I'm out. But it ain't never like I've never felt like they got away because like to me I just don't, you know, I don't look at myself like a traditional society would expect men to look at themselves, where it's like the woman is the prize and we fucking we treasure hunters and like we fighting each other. Bitch, give me that map. Killing motherfuckers looking for the X marks the spot shit. I'm not in that race. I'm like, listen, you can come hang out with me if you want to, explore my flaws and my bullshit. If you can deal with my flaws and my bullshit and the amount of time it take, then let's do something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like, and this is one of the things that is why I will shut you all the way the fuck off when shit don't work out and like my emotions are no longer involved. I feel like when I am involved in something, I commit to it. I'm going to give you what I have. I'm going to put my all into it. You know what I'm saying? Until you show me that you're not worthy of that. Now, young me, it took me a whole lot longer to figure out motherfuckers wasn't worthy of it. And so I'm doing a lot of shit that shouldn't have been doing for somebody that was so shitty to me. But me at this age, I recognize it, peep it out a lot quicker, I feel like. But you know, I'm all in. I'm all in. If you all in, let's do this. Let's make this work, because I feel like this about relationships. You know, I think sometimes people look at like they fail when it would, like, I failed. Like, I feel like relationships can fail. I don't know that the people within them, like, sometimes shit ain't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? And you can do everything right and the relationship still don't work out. That doesn't make you a failure. That means that it was some shit that didn't work out. But if you know that you've done what you're supposed to do on your end of things, and you know that you gave it what you had, I don't look at a failed relationship as me failing. Like, period. Or the other person failing. I don't even look at it as Slim failing. He was a whore. That's just what it was. It was not meant to be. And I kept mostly me, because I feel like when it finally ended, it was because I walked away and left it alone. Because he would have kept on, like, that shit would be going on right the fuck now if I had allowed it to continue. Like, it totally would. He would still be out here, telling me one thing and fucking bitches in his free time. What would be the natural progression of that? Would Red have never become the Red she was staying with him, or would she have inevitably become the Red she was and murdered him?
Probably the latter.
I don't know. I feel like him being there might have tapered off how much you can become what you are now.
Maybe.
You'd be all submissive and passive, and
I wasn't even that with him. Like, that's the thing. So one of the things,
there was something about you that was making you deal with that shit when you was dealing with it.
It was low self-esteem. I think I talked about this before. So because of the level of attractiveness that I in society deems him to be, and because of the level of attractiveness I did not feel like I had, when I was able to catch his eye and was able to be with him, that was it was like a prize. It was like I won the lotto. It was like, look at this shit that I was able, like, this nigga want to be with me. Like, and I like that feeling so much so that even though he was giving me all these other bad, horrible feelings, I didn't want to lose the idea that I was with him. Didn't matter that 50 little other bitches was with him too.
This is the thing. If I did something wrong, I wouldn't dare have the audacity to communicate with a person that I wronged. I wouldn't. Not acting like I didn't do shit. And I guess that's my character. I don't do folks wrong. And if I fuck around and do somebody wrong, or I have the perception of something wrong being done, I try my best to resolve it.
Well, he's not saying he didn't do anything. What he said was, I know I fucked up, but like, I'm different now.
No. See, he started the conversation wrong. That made it not genuine.
Yes.
He started the conversation as if you might have forgot that shit and was willing to forgive that shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen to see what my chances was. If he really wanted to apologize, he would have just came out and said, listen, this shit been fucking with me. I fucked you over. I'm sorry. I apologize. It hurt you and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But no, he did that when he realized you weren't trying to hear that shit. So to me, that don't mean nothing. To me.
And I was not trying to hear that shit.
And then not only that, but he was like, you ain't even swipe on me. You know, he could have even, like that, the narcissism in that response. He could have came and said, I saw you on Tinder. That neutral. Not with this idea that you owe me something, or you supposed to give me something, or you supposed to feel some kind of way about me, or at least show this application that you're attracted to me.
Like, how dare you not swipe on me, bitch?
Come on.
You really called my phone with this. Like, that was your lead in. But this is what he does every couple of months. It'll be, if it ain't Tinder. I'm trying to think of what the last time it was. Oh, last time it was, he was thinking of starting a YouTube channel, and he knows that I did YouTube. And so it started out him asking me about cameras, like what kind of camera he needed to get and blah, blah, blah. And so then that slowly slipped into, because it always goes back to like us getting back together or like him trying to like, you know, I be in Birmingham sometimes. Okay. Good for you, my nigga. And I be in Montgomery sometimes, but I don't call you when I'm there because I don't want to see you. The fuck out my face. But yeah, like that, it's always so funny when it happens because it's just hilarious. And you are right. I guess usually people who feel like the one that got away because you was doing fuck shit at the time. Because I don't really have that. I don't have anybody that I feel like, oh, they got, you know, I should have did this and that and I still want to be with it. Like, you know, I don't have that at all with anybody. I thank God every day I never had a baby by none of these niggas. Been awful. Would have been a tragedy. So, and he said that to me before. Like, he said something about, you know, can you imagine if we had a kid? You'd be dead, my nigga. Be glad. Be glad I'm not your baby mama.
He said that? Mm-hmm. Imagine if we would have had. What's the context he said that in? Like being hopeful that would have happened, or in this conversation.
One of the many he called. Like I said, it's like every 6 months he'll do this. But then and I'm like, no, we would not have needed to have a child together. He was like, but I think, you know, that would have been cool. A little bit of me and a little bit of you, nigga. You're not thinking about me as a mother. Like, I feel like had this continued and I had a kid, if it ended and me becoming the red I am today wasn't what caused me to become the red I am, me having a fucking baby would have been. Like, I'd have fucked him up. Like, you not, oh, no. No. Jesus knew that I did not need to have a baby with, like, that would have just, And I wouldn't. I mean, that would have been a connection I would have had to him forever, which I would not. I wouldn't have wanted. Like me now, fuck that. Absolutely not. And it would have just been one of his. I'd have been one of his baby mamas. Because he had a baby, which is part of what the issue was. I'd have just been a baby mama of his. Fuck that. There was something else that I was gonna bring, but pollen. Sorry. But I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was gonna be. Do you think that people fail? That it's a failure on your part if a relationship fails?
No, not necessarily. I think it's for me. No. Like I said, there's been some errors in communication and issues that I've had regarding relationships, but I wouldn't call that what led to the failure of it. Mm-hmm. I really don't even look at it as failure, more so than just being dissolved.
Yeah.
Like you would dissolve a business. It's like both parties have a conversation and it's like, okay, this ain't the best thing, or this ain't necessarily working out, or let's go. I had a situation that done sunk like the Titanic or no shit like that.
I mean, even in
but
those,
generally speaking, yeah, I mean, I think somebody can be responsible for the failure. I just don't believe that. Something I don't like about relationships is that we try so desperately to hold on to ones that don't need to be held on to. And I think that it's not fair for one person to have to have negative feelings about what went wrong in a relationship and have to overcome that shit.
Yeah.
So if you choose to leave a relationship because somebody cheated on you or something happened, I 100% understand that and agree with that and think that's what you should do, because I just don't think you should have to have negative feelings while the other person get to be all right from their wrongdoings. But
yeah.
But the Bible and the concept of marriage would tell us to endure and deal with those things. And a lot of men use that dialogue in terms of, if I cheat or if I do something, this is something that y'all know men got, so women should be able to work through that. And it's unfair because women naturally don't. I won't say all. Well, let me not say women on there, but traditionally, women don't have been the natural ones that's cheating in droves. Women ain't the ones in the 70s and 80s that had another family on the side of town. It was men who had that shit because they were the breadwinners. So
I'm mad that you added this to my calendar to add something
every
to the
other
Facebook
day.
page.
Every other fucking day, you're gonna get a calendar alert.
God damn it.
To add something to that page. Fuck that. We got to do something, man.
I just got a notification. I was like, what the fuck is this?
We can't have this page out here and we keep saying every damn 3 weeks.
We do.
We're going to put it on the page. Oh, we're going to put it on the page.
At least we respond to messages on the page.
Yeah, but nobody else know that shit. But the people who ask questions and respond to it. And you know what? The people who do that shit don't even need to check the page because they listen to this shit all the time. By the way, thank y'all for listening.
Appreciate you.
Welcome to our board meeting about shit we need to do as a podcast to be more
we're just not social media
accessible
people.
And more connected.
We do need to.
But I'm always on social media. I'm always on social media.
I'm on it looking. I'm not posting.
I haven't been posting the last since I got my license for some reason. When I got my counseling license, I kind of stopped posting. And when I started working at Shelby County and got that school contract, I really kind of stopped posting. And I'm very, very careful about what I post now.
You have to be.
But I mean, I try to post silly, serious shit. For example, let me tell you what I was going to post the other day.
Oh, God.
Okay. My last name is Sharp, if you don't know. And I'm in an IEP meeting with a kid and a family, and this PE coach is a woman. Every woman PE coach I ever met looked like MacGyver. She just got the MacGyver haircut. She got on some sweat. She got on like some windbreaker sweats and a t-shirt. It never fails. Every time I meet a coach, it's like they go to the barbershop and be like, or the salon, or they might go to the barbershop and say, you know what, make me make me MacGyver. Or I'm a PE coach. Say no more, fam. You know what I'm saying? And we had this meeting, and I know how to use my words. I know how to diffuse this meeting. Let me tell you about this meeting first. This meeting is a little 12-year-old girl who don't give a fuck about you. I don't care who you is. The kid don't give a fuck about you. And if you call her a liar, she give less of a fuck about you. And this teacher had to say, this is what she did. And she say she didn't do it. Mm-hmm. She apparently, somebody stuck a pencil in the computer and broke the lead off into the auxiliary port, mm-hmm. so you can't put headphones in it. Mm-hmm. And the kids in the class said it was her. And when she went to ISS, the same thing happened to the computer that she was at there. The problem is, this kid's been telling me the truth for like the last year and a half, and she done told me truths that was far worse than shit she did on that computer. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I had to tell them, I said, regardless of whether she did it or not, I'm going to tell you right now that if she genuinely, truly didn't do it, if it's a possibility that this is the biggest coincidence on the planet, your relationship with her is dead. Like, you ain't going to be able to catch up. But at the end of the whole meeting, the PE coach was like, well, if nobody else is going to say it, this was a good first impression. You're pretty sharp. Like I was like,
Jesus Christ,
had to do it, didn't I? Had to fucking do it. Had to pun my name, huh?
Oh God.
But then after this meeting, I go to Subway, right? Mm-hmm. I usually go to Jack's, but I'm like, there's got to be a better food option, and I don't think Subway is a better food option.
It is not.
I think it's a worse food option.
It is.
But it feels better because it's a sandwich and not a grease fried chicken wing or a chicken tender.
Chicken tender is delicious though.
They are. And you know when you're dealing with people that I realized I was dealing with somebody after this exchange that was not dumb enough to be on the short bus, but was dumb enough for you to not know how they pass things. Okay? So I'm in the subway line and this dude come up behind me and I order an Italian. And I say, double meat that for me. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And now anytime somebody like jumps onto my dialogue when I say double meat or talk about more meat, I have the same thing that I always say. I say, I'm a carnivore. If I could have meat with meat sides for dinner, I would do that. And he said, I understand, I would too. Every time my wife asks me what side I want, I say mashed potatoes. I'm looking at him like, the hell? What the hell did you hear me say? Or did you hear me say it 100%, but you don't have processing skills?
What?
And you know what? This black, and this was a white guy, this black hoodest sandwich artist that I ever met at Subway said, mashed potatoes ain't no meat. And he was just standing there smiling. Like a weird, creepy smile, like I have no idea. Like he wasn't processing shit. I was gonna post that. I wasn't gonna post the IEP exchange because I got teachers and shit on my page. And somebody would have knew what meeting I was in. But I was gonna post that. So I try to post like little silly things on my Facebook.
You confused the shit out of him when you said carnivore. I
don't think he knew what the hell a carnivore was.
You fucked him all up when you said carnivore. So then he was like, I don't know, mashed potatoes.
But still, when I said I would have a meat with meat sides,
Does he think mashed potatoes are meat?
I don't know.
Maybe his wife.
And I know he hadn't listened. And I know he ain't listened to the podcast. So I know he don't think I'm talking about a sausage fest orgy. Okay? He don't know meats mean penises in my world. He know I'm talking about the meat you eat.
Maybe she makes loaded mashed potatoes and puts like bacon and shit in her potatoes.
No. He was almost short bus material.
Listen, I'm so glad I wasn't with you. Cause I would have had to leave. I would have had to leave. There's no way I would have been able to stand up.
But like in Shelby County, man, short bus. I already know When I heard him say mashed potatoes, I was like, short bus, end this conversation. Don't give it no more energy.
I would have been because the sandwich artist was like, no, fuck that. He need to know that ain't no goddamn meat.
Well, she know him apparently. When he came in, she was like, "Hey, friend."
Oh Jesus.
Where my other friend, which was his wife. So I don't have time, man. I do not have time for shit like that.
I can't breathe.
Okay, I'm gonna go down some of my Facebook posts, just so y'all know what I'm posting, just how I'm filtering.
My answer for everything not gonna be mashed potatoes when y'all ask me.
Mashed potatoes, horrible, man. I really feel he was like Waterboy. I'm pretty sure he excelled at some point in his life, but just small talk ain't it.
Oh Jesus.
I'm sorry, y'all, but Milo's burger sauce tastes like dog food juice, and I stand the fuck by that.
I still haven't been to Milo's. I gotta go.
You haven't been to Milo? The chicken fingers are good.
Yeah, you told me. You told me to stay away from the burger because of that Milo
I think
sauce.
I might have talked about this on the podcast. If you thought your dreams were weird, last night I had a dream that Mark Lamont Hill and I were partners in a supernatural detective crime drama named Hold My Nuts for My Halo. I don't know, just send help.
You did talk about hold my nuts for my halo.
That dream was intense. I typed that shit all the way up. I wanted to remember that shit.
Well, yes. Hold my nuts for my halo is memorable.
Damn, I'm realizing how much space. So I did a video on Instagram about Jack's biscuits on Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
they made them heart shaped.
And you were upset because they were smaller.
I was missing about 1.5 ounces worth of biscuit. Fuck, I don't want no heart-shaped biscuit if I gotta sacrifice 1.5 ounces of it. If you gonna do some shit like that on Valentine's Day, add 1 ounce. Make it a big heart. I want to look for. I'm gonna come to your business next year for Valentine's Day if I know I get 1.5 ounces more biscuit because you made a big ass heart. That shit was disrespectful.
You were so upset about that biscuit. I remember that video.
Yeah. But this is the kind of stuff I'm posting. I'm just saying that to say it's just neutral ass stuff that don't mean nothing to nobody, because the best shit that happened in my life happened under the confines of confidentiality.
Oh yeah.
The best stories that I have to tell.
Oh my God.
I can't tell nobody.
Man, it'd be something every week. The lives that people lead, y'all just would be.
And I know the stories that she talking about that she have, and she know the stories that I'm talking about that I have. Yeah. But that's because we both therapists and we have consultations.
Yep.
But we don't give any client identifying information.
Nope.
You know, nothing that she knows she can identify that person in any kind of way.
And vice versa. I mean, you have to do consultation because some of this shit just be so crazy that you like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like that.
Clients will come in your office and drop a bomb and then just walk the fuck out like, bam, fix it, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Just roll a grenade in that bitch and you like, oh!
Like, God damn it, we talked about this. But yeah, so please send us in a letter so that y'all don't have to listen to this. This is what happened when y'all don't send a letter and it'd be just random shit. So if you have a question, a comment, anything you would like for us to respond to, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationcardartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, where we're going to be posting apparently, because now this nigga got notifications coming to my phone. Conversation Card Artist on Facebook, and you can find us that way. So I think that Government Names talked about this last week, because I think it happened in time enough for them to talk about it maybe. But so apparently there is a white woman who was taking pictures at the zoo, and at this particular zoo there was the cage and then there was a fence that put space between you and the cage, because it's a fucking jaguar and they can put their paws through this shit. And so even if you are on the outside of the cage, shit can still get dangerous real quick. This bitch had to have the closest possible selfie that she could get with this fucking jaguar. So she hops the fence, goes up to the cage, and the jaguar did what jaguars do, which is maul the fuck out of her. I do not understand. It's just humans suck so bad. Like, we just have no concept of things outside of ourselves sometimes. It's yes, we created zoos so that we can go around as humans and look at animals that you wouldn't normally be able to see, and we keep them confined, cruel as shit for our entertainment. Yes. But guess what? They are still wild fucking animals. Okay? A jaguar is a jaguar at the end of the day. So people were saying, protesters saying, y'all better not kill that motherfucking jaguar because she was stupid. They didn't kill the jaguar because Harambe got killed. They didn't kill the jaguar. She came back and apologized, but I just don't understand why. Why would you want to get a selfie with a jaguar to the point where you go up against a cage that it's in, where you can see where he can put his paws through and put paws on you?
You know what that probably looked like? It probably looked like when a black kid getting a whooping. You know how they get hit in the back and then they do that little jerk from the back, but it's just instead of a belt, it's like tiger or jaguar claws, and she like, oh, and then she grab her like, oh, and she drop her phone, she like, oh, it's like, yeah, white people, they have the luxury to live on the edge. Our jaguar is white people. Like it's like, I don't want to go on this side of town at night. I'm not stopping at the gas station in Coleman.
We were at an ice cream park. Did we talk about this on the show? Where we all went to that ice cream shop and like a slew of white. It was already white. Nothing but white people other than us. And then like this slew of more white people came in, and we was uncomfortable as shit.
So we on the whitest, wealthiest side of town, right? And because I just got to go to this ice cream shop because they normally have this Milky Way ice cream, and it's delicious.
They didn't even have it, did they?
No. They don't. They only have it 10% of the time. 1 out of 10 times I go, they'll have it. But and that's the crazy thing, because they never have it because everybody get it and it's gone. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't have it out more. Anyway, so it's 7, 8 of us that walk in there, and after that, it's like they called in, like, if you know when you play, well, you don't know much. So I'm playing the Division 2, so I'm thinking in Division 2 terms. So like some of these games, you can drop like a beacon and it'll call in for support. Like, it's like the white people that were there was like, we need more white people here. It's too many black people offsetting this situation. Drop that beacon. And then white people came in. They had a cooler.
It was.
I have no idea what it's like. So many white people went there. It was like,
and we left.
We'll flush them out. We'll flush out the blacks.
It worked because we left because it was weird and it was uncomfortable.
But you know what?
In that and it was lit. It's an ice cream shop, so this is not a huge space. Okay, this don't have a ton of space. But so we're all crammed in there.
But see, being black in America, we can be comfortable being in a room by ourselves when it's that many white people, and all the white people can be uncomfortable with just one of you being in that space, because that's just like the makeup of America.
But being on that side of town was already like, it's just so funny, like, and we all understood, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody had to explain like why we needed to leave. Like, it was just like, it's time to go. It's too much. Too many of them.
Oh, and the dudes were not charging us what they were supposed to be charging us for any of that ice cream.
And I don't know what that was about.
I don't know who running their business or why them dudes was it, but we was sitting there talking about how they didn't charge us enough for any of the ice cream.
Yep. Because I got like a waffle cone and a scoop. He was only what he did with me. He only charged me for the scoop of ice cream. I think he ain't charged me for the cone. And the cones are like handmade. Like, they make the waffle cones there.
Mine was supposed to be about $7 and some change, and it was $3. I don't know why that happened. But,
I don't know.
But I'm just saying that as black people in this country, our threats are poverty and white oppression and, you know, white racism, white supremacy. That's our Jaguar. Like, we don't have the luxury to have no other issues, that we have the freedom that we feel to go up to a caged animal that's a wild animal that ain't been able to cut open some flesh in a long time and think that you might be able to get a selfie without getting mauled.
It's a fucking like, have you ever seen a jaguar in person?
No.
Like at a zoo?
I haven't. I don't like zoos anymore.
Yeah, it's sad.
Last time I went to a zoo, I was just not happy. I just didn't like seeing the animals in captivity.
It's fucked up. We do this for our, and the fucked up thing is, especially for the ones that are born there at the zoo, the answer is not to just shut down the zoo, because they would die in the wild because they've been in captivity.
Actually, I had a conversation. So I played the Ungame with some clients, and one of them asked her about the zoo, and she said she's actually doing a project on the zoo. She said that evidence is showing now that the animals that live in a zoo instead of captivity have a shorter lifespan. Longer lifespan. Yeah. So that's positive, but the negative is that a lot of animals are going crazy. Like, she said that some alligators and crocodiles are going to the bottom of the water and just trying to stay there forever, like never come up, even though they have to come up for air sometimes.
Because it takes out the predatory. They feed them. Yeah, they're predators. They hunt, and they take that away from them.
She said polar bears are swimming around in circles, just swimming around in circles and swimming around in circles.
It's sad.
So it's a lot of animals that is causing them some kind of, you know, psychological distress. But I imagine that animals exist on the same scale that humans exist in. Mentally. So if you put all the soldiers that you send over to war, you know, some of them come back over here like nothing happened. A bulk of them come over here, you know, normal with some issues that they can overcome with help, and then a bunch of them come back with PTSD and shit that they can't overcome, and that's gonna be fucked up for the rest of their life. So I'm sure that there's some animals that do all right in captivity and just be like, man, free food, man. I ain't gotta run out there and go catch nothing and shit. I'm cool.
Yeah, and then some others are like, I want to run and chase and hunt.
Exactly. And some are like, man, fuck this. Fuck this. The next motherfucker that come over here with a goddamn flashy thing, I'm gonna slice their ass goddamn up. And they be saying that knowing that they never gonna get the opportunity to touch him. But when he saw that lady jump over that thing, he said, ooh, you bitch. Oh, you don't know how fucked up you is right now. And as soon as she got close enough, he cashed that check. He cashed that check like a motherfucker.
Like, it's like we do that. We put them in zoos. And then for the ones that are in their natural habitat, we are fucking their habitats up because we want to build shit and push them out. You know how many endangered species there are because of us? Like, because we just doing fuck shit. I watch a bunch. I'm a documentary, like, whether it's about humans, animals. I just really like watching documentaries and like shit about the world. I just enjoy that more. Sometimes more, like, I realized this week that I have watched more like real life documentary type shit than I have like fictional shit. I've kind of switched over. I don't know if that's because I'm becoming old, because it used to be the opposite. But I was watching this thing about the most invasive species in Florida that have kind of been brought out over here from other places, and then they multiplied, and now it's a problem. And even that shit is like, you got kids that was smuggling African giant snails from Africa, and so then they got over here, and now they got a big ass snail problem. But it's like, we do shit, then get upset at the animals. Now y'all trying to find a way to kill off some of these animals because y'all fucked up and created a situation where it's like a bunch of them. It just, human beings suck. We just fucking suck.
We do.
We're like the worst. But yeah, I don't remember the last time I've been to a zoo for that same reason, because it's just really sad to see them. But I have seen big cats in person, like in a zoo. And I just, the fuck are you doing? Like, they are humongous. Their one paw is like your head. Like, they could palm your head like a basketball with one paw. Why would you jump a fence to get a selfie of that shit? Like, stupid. Because you're so focused on this animal is here and exists for my entertainment. Let me get a picture of this for my entertainment, not thinking this is a wild animal. Okay, it's a jaguar.
She channeled the same energy that Subway Mashed Potato Man channeled when she made that decision. Like I said, there's a lot of people out here who didn't ride the short bus, but could have arguably ridden it. Arguably.
I would probably never be a vegan vegetarian, but that does not mean that I do not care about the abuse of animals.
Hey, listen, I'm never you know what? We smarter than animals, okay? And I'm pretty certain that the smartest animals stay alive, don't get captured, and don't get eaten.
Yes.
Unless they just slow like cows. Like even the smartest cow is fucked up. You know, I'm sorry. That's the nature of your species, okay? But, as far as wild animal goes,
yeah,
the smartest ones ain't getting caught.
Yeah.
The smartest ones are out there being smart. And it's arguably, we are helping the species. What?
That might be
we
a
get
stretch.
the dumb ones, so the smart ones procreate.
The dumb ones would end up dying anyway.
But the thing is, with my dialogue, I'm okay if the animal kingdom Zootopia our ass. Like if they take over the whole world, I'm okay with that. Yep. Like because of how much we done fucked up animals. If aliens or God come down here and give animals the sentience to be able to fuck us up, I will accept my fate.
Hey, look,
if a cow come up to me with a pistol to my face, I'm just gonna be like, we deserve this shit, man. I hope you get the justice that you want to have. Your kind is delicious. And then boom, I'm dead. I'm all right with that.
I want a steak right now. But I said that to say, I know. And some potatoes. Okay, anyway.
We can make a steak happen today. You know that, right?
Where will we go? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I'm hungry. I say that because I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. When I start talking about animal rights and being upset at the treatment of, pushing animals out of their natural habitats and all of this deforestation and all of that shit, people are always like, but you eat meat, don't you? Fucking right I do. I can do both simultaneously. The fuck out of my face. This is still wrong and I want a steak. Now what? Both of these things can be true.
But an animal we just doing the same shit a lion doing out in the wild.
Yeah.
We doing the same shit.
Yep.
We just have better tools for it than them. Our teeth ain't made to eat raw a gazelle.
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
We gotta cook it. And you know what? I would rather have my animal in a package at Walmart than in a cage just to look at for entertainment. I'd rather have my animal dead because you know what?
It's cruel that they don't.
I'm paying homage to the life that creature lived. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't going to waste.
Exactly. It's like, listen, young brother, I know that you suffered through some shit and you had to die for me to be able to replenish my nutrients. But you know what? I'm going to take care of your dead flesh and you're going to be as delicious as you can fucking possibly be.
I'm going to get this steak over medium. It's going to be delicious.
Let's go to the zoo and watch these animals in a cage. Being sad. And even if they happy, it don't look like they happy because their facial expressions don't look like ours. I can't tell.
I think any of the predatory, like lions, tigers, bears.
My. Okay.
Any of them, I feel like are not. They're not happy because they have a predator drive. They hunt. When your food is being delivered to you at the same time every day and shit, like. That's not the same thing. It doesn't help with that drive. And of course you're going to be sad. And that is why I do feel like that jaguar, there has been an incident with a tiger. They do be waiting just one of these days, one of these humans is going to fuck up. And when they do, I'm going to maul the shit out of them. And that was her day.
Yeah. And Maya Angelou has a poem called Why Does the Cage Bird Sing?
She does.
And it's a great poem talking about, still shining through struggle. But the reality is that bird is just genetically predisposed to sounds that are supposed to come out of their face. They sad as fuck, okay? They not in a happy situation. They don't want to be there. They singing because their natural makeup is telling them to sing. Just like if we were stuck in a cage, we'll be breathing and shit. And smiling sometimes because, it's time to eat shit, yeah. Even though we in a fucked up situation. it's still something that we, are predisposed to that make us look like we might have a good time every now and then. But you know what? No, it's not a good time. It's horrible.
I remembered the other thing that I was gonna. It's not even. Dang, I gotta find it. I don't even remember if I saw it on Facebook. It was a post about the process of leaving a black function. About how long it takes, because you gotta first be like, all right, we gonna get up out of here. Then you have to have a whole nother conversation, and then you maybe pack up your to-go food. Then you have a whole like, it's such a process that then you go outside, but you talk at the car for like another 30 minutes. Like, it's a process. Like, you don't just get up and leave.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think that's when you big shit at the establishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's for people who like ain't quite always around these people.
Well, but most black functions, like family get-togethers, y'all ain't always together, so you talking because it might be a year from now. But we do that shit. We all see each other fairly regularly after every Marvel movie. No matter what time, even when we was going at midnight and shit, we standing outside
for 2 hours, damn near talking.
Standing outside the goddamn theater,
we start talking about the movie, but then we talk about all kind
whatever.
Of stuff.
It inevitably somebody will be like, "I'm gonna get out of here," and then you still stand there for like another 20 minutes.
For me, it's different if food is involved. If food is involved, I'm getting in and getting the fuck out, man. I talk to everybody before I touch food. I make sure I do. And the only thing I gotta say when I'm leaving, yeah, man, I'm gonna hit you up. Don't forget.
But I mean, even when you've cooked here and we've all came over here, and when we leave, we be outside, standing at the cars, talking. You may not know that because like sometimes you come out and sometimes you don't. But if we all leave together, we just be standing out in the fucking parking lot talking.
I'm the one that cooks.
You are the one that cooks.
That's supposed to be from Breaking Bad when he get to the point where he say, I'm the one who knocks. If you ain't seen it, then,
But yeah, we even do that. Like, that's just, I don't know why it's that way. It's the same way when I go up to my families for Thanksgiving. Like, everybody be like, oh, I'm feeling, and you talk. You fix your plate, your to-go plate. You still be fucking standing there. Like, it's never, you just leave. Never happens. Never have I ever been to like a family function where I go and I'm just like, all right, y'all, and I actually leave, because somehow you get dragged into another conversation and they'll be like, all right, now you be careful at work, or it'll be something, and then you end up having a whole nother fucking conversation about it. It was a meme about it that had like the steps, and I was gonna go through, but I thought I saved it. Apparently I didn't. But that's what the other thing I couldn't think of that I was gonna bring up. But yeah, don't be out here for getting close to jaguars. I don't know what else to say. They're wild animals. Okay, they're they gonna fuck you up, and you can't be mad about it because you were the stupid one. He's caged. How you get fucked up by a caged animal? That's you being stupid. That's not the animal's fault. He shouldn't die because you dumb and had to get a selfie. That's you. How dumb do you have to be to get mauled by a caged animal? And you on the outside of the cage. You ain't one of the zookeepers who in there feeding him and got mauled. You're on the outside of the cage still and got mauled. How dumb. So yeah.
So Cory Booker.
Oh God.
And Rosario Dawson.
I know.
Are dating. Do you believe that it's...
No, I do not. I believe she's his beard.
But you think she's... So this ain't even... So you think she's willing to take a chance right now while he's running for president to be dating him when he becomes the president?
Mm-hmm. Or she may not...
You think she's willing to be a presidential beard?
She may not be a presidential beard. She may be the beard that helped him get into the presidency. They may not be together after he becomes president if he wins. He needs somebody because there are people who think he's gay. And so this helps him to not
help the gay community if he is.
It doesn't. But it's niggas with beards out here. This why beard is a term.
Well, I don't even mean with dating Rosario Dawson. I mean just being in the closet and not being willing to say that you're gay. Yeah. It don't help at all.
It doesn't. But
maybe it helps for somebody to, sneak in on them on that president and be able to act accordingly in terms of legislation for the community.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
But that's one of those things about...
But nobody believes it. Like, when that broke, everybody was like, okay, Corey. Sure, Corey.
All right, Mr. Booker. What are you doing, Rosario?
Nobody believes it. It's not believable. I don't believe it. I think she's his beard.
So, I went to go see her dating history. Mm-hmm. And...
Has she been a beard a lot?
No, her last relationship was a serious relationship. It was with Eric Andre. You know him? He got that late night weird ass television show, the light skinned dude with the afro. Oh man, he be doing crazy stuff on his show. Like he brought T.I. to the show and T.I. got mad and left because he was being weird. Oh, but okay. It's just a weird, silly Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
TV show dude. He just do crazy shit just to do it.
If you had said it was on Adult Swim, that would have been enough to be like, oh, okay.
Hannibal Buress play on his show too. I can't remember. Oh, it's called the Eric Andre Show on Adult Swim.
Okay. Yeah.
And apparently she was really, really, really sick. And at that point in time, he was there for her, like in the hospital and doing all that shit. And so they got together like after that because like she communicated. She had never seen that kind of support from a person. Okay. Their relationship didn't work out. But if you look at his shenanigans, I don't know if you ever seen that meme. I might have posted it where it's got a light skinned dude at the front with a gun and Hannibal Buress is shot in the background. I think I sent it to y'all before. It said it had Hannibal Buress labeled as child going through abuse, and it had him labeled as parents. And then it showed him shooting the person at the top and at the bottom. And the last meme say, "Why would you do this?" I'll have to show you the meme. Yeah, I've sent it to the group before.
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember the guy.
Then almost everybody else before these two was white. Michael Fassbender, don't know who that is.
You do know who Michael Fassbender is. He's been
what is his name and whatever he done played in?
Okay, Michael Fassbender has been. Is he the one that played Magneto?
Oh, okay, yeah, I see him now. I couldn't really see him. Okay,
yeah,
I don't know people's names.
Yeah, but I was like, that. You know Michael Fassbender.
Because if I knew his real name, I would have been calling him Assbender.
Oh, I hate you. But he was Magneto.
Danny Boyle.
Who the hell is that?
I guess he's the director. He looked much older than she is. He was born in 1956.
My mom was born in 57, so he old. I mean, Jesus, mom's not that old, but like she's in her 60s. Let me just say that.
Otis Ferry, white guy.
Ferry.
Matthew Schreier.
That sounds familiar.
Gerard Butler.
Okay.
Jason Lewis.
Don't know who that is.
Colin Farrell.
Okay.
Joshua Jackson.
I know who. That's Pacey from
Jay-Z. In 2000.
I don't believe that.
Why not? It says before he got really serious with Beyonce and was a household name, supposedly after an alleged short booship with the late Aaliyah, Jay-Z was romantically involved with actress Rosario Dawson.
I don't believe that. I just can't see it.
Why not?
Because Rosario Dawson is not like, she isn't traditionally pretty enough. Jay-Z just go after like what traditional pretty is. Rosario Dawson kind of look weird.
Rosario Dawson is quirky fine. Quirky fine. Like she ain't like. It's like the way that she acts and carries herself. She got them points.
Yeah,
she got them points
because her face is weird, but she like who she is and how she carries herself gives her a lot. But she's not a traditional beauty.
As the night nurse, I would have been on her like Luke Cage was. I would have. She just. But that's like if I saw her in the grocery store and she wasn't Rosario Dawson, I'd be like, oh,
because her face looks weird. She just has a weird face. She's not a traditional beauty.
But I have to see her talking and acting and being like, yeah, okay.
But I don't believe that she and Cory Booker are actually a couple. I think that
Cory Booker face weird too.
Yeah,
he look like a turtle.
Hey, it's Franklin. Anytime somebody says somebody look like a turtle, it makes me think of Franklin.
He do look like a turtle. Everybody who had that little lip thing to me look like a turtle. Like Samuel Jackson got that lip thing too, like that snapping turtle lip. Where the middle part of their top lip is like a V.
I hate you.
Or some shit. Is
But no, I think she's his beard, and I think that I don't think she would continue on after he was president, but I think this is to get him to be president. This is to make him more universally acceptable.
it's so many Democrats running for president.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Cory Booker, you got Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Julian Castro.
I really did just that name.
Andrew Yang.
Yin yang
Joe
in the thing.
Biden is jumping in. Bernie Sanders has jumped in.
Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Maybe I'm misspeaking. I thought that he jumped in.
People want him to run, and I don't think that Joe is trying to do that shit. Is he actually running?
Yeah, no. He
Okay, I was finna say.
Beto O'Rourke is the last one that got in.
Okay. I was
And
like,
he's just weird.
people just wanted Joe to run, but he wasn't with it. He wasn't trying to run. I don't think he want to deal with that bullshit again. He dealt with enough bullshit as vice president.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
And
Because
he's really old.
we need to keep him as Uncle Joe.
We do. I love Uncle Joe.
Because he has some very problematic views from his history. He been in the Senate for too long. He got records of saying shit that's problematic to all communities, you know.
I want him to
So,
stay
he
Uncle
just
Joe.
be Uncle Joe and
Because
just
I
that's
love
it.
him as he is today.
Okay, what else you got?
What else do I have?
I can move on.
Aunt Becky.
Okay. Yeah. I had
So, you have it.
that. Yeah.
There is a big, huge scandal going on where a bunch of really rich parents, including two actresses, Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, who everybody knows is Aunt Becky from Full House, paid for their kids to get into colleges when the kids were not otherwise gonna be able to go to these colleges. And so is this big scandal, and where Aunt Becky in particular, have you seen her daughter's YouTube? I don't know if it's come down or not yet.
I saw the video of her like being excited that she's in college. Look just like her.
She looks just like her. But that girl never wanted to go to college. Like, when she was graduating high school, her YouTube took off, and she wanted to just do YouTube. And her mom was like, your ass is going to school. You going to college. Like, she never wanted to go. And so she was forced into going to college. And I think once she got in there, like, it was fun, but it wasn't for like the educate, you know, because she never really gave a shit about that. And since this scandal has come out, she has dropped out of college because she was somehow talking about being bullied. I'd have beat her ass. If I didn't pay $500,000, I'm looking at jail time. Your ass is gonna finish this degree. Like, I don't give a shit.
What?
Bully my ass.
No,
Yes.
This is not how you're supposed to be responding to this dialogue. You supposed to be saying, I fucked up. I'm getting this girl, and we moving the fuck out of the country to avoid these fucking charges.
Oh yeah, I was finna
We
say she better go to jail.
Talking about her coming home to get an ass whooping. See, I'm gonna tell you my problem with this whole situation. Okay. These parents had all the means to give their children the childhood learning experience that would have allowed them to make the scores to get into that school.
And they could have paid. You didn't even got to get a scholarship. You just need to make the scores to get in there.
Your
parents got the money.
They had nannies. They had the best schools.
Yep.
They had the best tutors. They had money. They didn't have to worry about oppression. They didn't have to worry about shit. Maybe paparazzi, but that, like, it ain't enough that they had to worry. They could have created the kind of child that could have got in on their own. If you had all of that shit and your kid is a dummy and can't get into college, you need to send their ass to the damn military, or you need to send their ass to the workforce. Get them a role on a show.
USC is where Aunt Becky's child.
One of them was on the yacht with the USC officials when the news broke. You know, it's like, if your child, like, and you're not even you got your child in the door, but did you forget that they got to go to classes and study and do work and have the capacity to learn the things they need to learn at an elite university?
And they didn't want to go in the first. And again, it's not like, okay, you got a dumb kid, but they also still want to go to college. You got a dumb kid that has no no interest in going to college whatsoever, and you force this kid who doesn't have the academic ability to go to a school that they never wanted to go to. They definitely not finna even try to pull no kind of decent grades because they don't give a shit because they didn't want to be there in the first place. She told you she didn't want to go, and you pay $500,000. That is way more than what the actual degree costs. Just bribe wise, like then you still got to pay tuition. Like what? So, you know, I don't watch Fuller House. I tried, I didn't like it, and but she's Aunt Becky on Fuller House.
I watched the first episode of Fuller House, and I'm just not into the show. But to see Stephanie grown up wearing what she be wearing, it's like I was like, cause it's something like I think maybe a lot of dudes have like this not connection, but this like desire to see the childhood stars when they grown.
Yeah,
you know
like
it's like I'm connected
Topanga.
to her because I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and to see her grown, like to see those people grown redoing them shows. I mean, I like seeing that, but like outside of that, nah.
It's like Topanga. Oh no, Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
but so
and you know Rudy. I don't know her real name, but like all the
Keisha Knight Pulley.
Yeah, to see him growing up is a different situation.
Well, they ain't having her ass come back after this happened.
Who
does Fuller House?
Oh yeah,
Netflix. Is it Netflix that does it?
Shit, you know
so she will not be returning as Aunt Becky.
If America is trying to really change and hold wealthy people accountable, then they might do some jail time.
Yeah, they are looking at jail time.
They might do some jail time. Probably not as much as these officials at these schools.
Oh, Hallmark. She was on a Hallmark show, When Calls the Heart, which is in the middle of airing the 6th season, and they also kicking her ass off of that show. They don't want to be involved with this, so she's lost all of the shows all her acting jobs that she currently had, and you looking at jail time. And your daughter then dropped out. Like all of this was just stupid and not worth it. Felicity Huffman, same thing. Felicity, like if your kid don't want to go to college or they're not able to get into college is not for everybody. I will say that and I have 2 degrees and I'm saying that everybody is not meant to go to college. College is not necessary for you to be successful necessarily. If your fucking kids struggle through high school and they are telling you that they do not feel like they don't want to go, it's stupid for you to make them go just for the sake of them going when there are other avenues. Now you ain't gonna stay at my house. All right, you're not gonna do that. You're going to find something, but I would never force my kids to go to college because it ain't for everybody. It just ain't. It's a lot of work. You have to have a whole lot of self-motivation because I'm not there. Make sure your ass get up like I've been here to make sure you got up to go to high school. You got to get your own self up and go to class. And remember, write down test dates and all that. You have to do that yourself. And if you're not motivated to do that because you don't want to be there, you're not going to do it. And I'm not finna go ahead. You flunk out of school. That's stupid and a waste of money when you know that the child didn't want to go. And not only, again, did y'all waste tuition, y'all had bribe money on top of tuition.
And from this dialogue, you're focusing on like a parent pushing a child to do something they don't want to do. And I'm looking at it like, this is that systemic bullshit.
It is.
Like, it's like nobody's been saying that entitled people with wealth and power use their wealth and power to create more entitled people with wealth and power.
Yep.
Like, we've been saying that shit. And affirmative action, the people who are against affirmative action out here saying that affirmative action, takes spaces away from white people when there are literal white people taking spaces away from brown people. Because one of the programs that was being used as a money laundering system was supposed to be one that helped minorities get into the school.
Of course it was.
So it was just a whole front that was using using minorities as a scapegoat for ways to get these wealthy, privileged people into this school. And
they're like the kids at some of the minority kids at some of these schools have spoken out about how fucked up and how they had to work their fucking ass off to get into these schools, to remain in these schools, and you got this shit happening.
There are people out here who brown people who done tried to get in schools who have had their schools call back to get transcripts. They ask you questions to make sure you actually have these credentials you say you have. And these people literally ask these privileged people no question. Like, they had people with soccer scholarships who ain't never played sports. This is how they got in and got in for free. They literally paid the coaches to give these kids a soccer scholarship to go to the school for free, and they've never played soccer before. How is it possible that nobody said, where's your highlight tape? Where's your uniform from last year? Where the teammates who know about your progress? What are YouTube videos of you playing? There is literally nothing that exists that you play. We just gonna take it as a fact that you played, but it's the reality is you got paid. So when people talk about systemic racism, they talk about a system that people exist in that can be bought, and the people that can be bought are bought by people who have wealth and privilege. And you know what? A person with wealth and privilege, they wouldn't go to a school that had a black person or a black coach to do this. They wouldn't go to a black financial aid department and do this. They would only go to a school where people that look like them will let their kids in. Cause you think a black coach gonna let this fly? I don't know.
He might.
I mean, I guess it depends on their level of integrity, because it's like,
I'd be like, hell no, because when this shit come to hit the fan, I know who finna catch the heat for it.
Yep.
My ass.
Nope,
My black ass gonna be on the line. So no thanks.
That is,
because they gonna villainize my ass, and you gonna get off even though you the one out here paying bribes and shit. No.
But same thing happened with Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner went to Harvard, and this is a whole mysterious details around how he got into Harvard, and it's supposed to be because his dad paid some people off. I mean, this is just the way the game has been played. We don't have all the pieces to the puzzle.
Oh, she had 2 daughters too. Aunt Becca had 2 daughters. One was 19, one was 20, and they both have dropped out because
of mama bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they could have continued. I mean, I guess they weren't gonna kick the girls out, but they were like,
they weren't.
I don't know, but they dropped out due to bullying.
That would be bullshit if they didn't, especially if they don't have the scores and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it ain't their fault.
Yeah.
But the school needs to know that this person has the capability, like tests and GPAs and shit. That is a measure of your capability of being able to get progress in that school.
But if they're 19 and 20, which means they've at least, both of them have at least completed a semester. So, I mean, they could have used that to say, oh, since they've been here, they've had these grades or whatever. But regardless, the girls themselves, because of all the media surrounding it, because I'm sure there are students at the school that's like, fuck y'all, they saying they're getting bullied, so they just dropped out. And again, when you never wanted to go in the first place, this is a super easy out. Like, Mom, you fucked up. Nope, no more college for me. No more class. I'm quitting. But it was such a random story. Like, I remember seeing it when I was scrolling through. I was like, what? Is actors out here paying to get their kids into college? Like, because at first I know her as Aunt Becky. I forgot what her actual name was, but I know Felicity Huffman's name, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, this year is the year of the most random shit that you just be like, what? And we're only in March, but it was just a very random story, like, to come out that they've been doing this, and I'm sure it's been going on forever, but. For it to be these 2 actresses that are the did you see the what is his name, Malcolm something, one of the kids the parents is like, because it wasn't all like actresses, these were like CEOs, like millionaires, these were like other people high up in like social hierarchy, but not necessarily actresses and actors. But one of the kids their son made that reporters like were outside of the house, and he was talking to the reporters while smoking a blunt. Privilege. It's like, fuck this. He's like, I think it's unfair my parents are being treated this way, as he is literally smoking. This is in upstate New York. Weed is not legal in New York, so just Ridiculous. That whole thing was ridiculous, though. So
stupid. A dad was arrested in Florida for bringing an AK-47 to a middle school after the son claimed that the teacher had slammed him.
Goddamn, Dad! Like, I mean, I get being upset, but an AK-47, Jesus.
So apparently, the kid FaceTimed him and said, "Hey, Dad, the teacher slammed me," and he said, "Say no more, son." He got his AK-47.
No details other than this kid saying this, and you just showed up to the school with an AK-47. Jesus.
He rolled over to his gun safe, got his AK-47, because mind you, he is in a wheelchair.
What?
He came to the school after calling the assistant principal and making threats, and was met by police.
Yes.
In his wheelchair with his AK-47, and told him that he had forgot that he had it with him. An AK-47 in his pants.
You ain't forgot. That's a big ass gun. That isn't a handgun. That's not a little. Wow.
So what would you do if your kid was?
I'm going up to the school. I'm not gonna go up to the school with an AK-47, but I'm gonna go up to the school and find out what the fuck is going on. Now, I am not going to go up there and immediately show my ass. I'm going to let's look, because I need to know why is my child FaceTiming me saying he's being slammed. Let's have a conversation. Now, if I find that he indeed was slammed, then I might show my ass. But it's still, me showing my ass at no point will include me going to the school with an AK-47. I will get shot and be dead. Not going to do that. Wouldn't even cross my mind to do that. Okay.
But he said he wasn't going to harm nobody, though.
You nigga, bye. You full of shit, sir. No, he thought, okay, I'm in a wheelchair, so I'm gonna be able to get out of this because I'm gonna be deemed less threatening because I'm in this. Listen, AK-47 requires hands, not legs and feet. You got these hands, so you could do some damage in a wheelchair with AK-47. You are just as threatening, sir. What the fuck? The fact I wasn't expecting the wheelchair part. That was a twist. When you said he rolled over, I thought you meant like, oh, he's a gun enthusiast that may have had like his gun safe next to his bed, so he's in bed and he like rolls over and gets it. You meant roll because he in a chair. The fuck? Wow.
I mean, even if he did start shooting, all you had to do was go behind his chair.
Don't do. I knew.
I'm just saying. I'm just being realistic. Okay. Fuck the political correctness. If you are ever in a place,
you can't turn around.
If you exactly, if you're ever in a place where you see a man in a wheelchair with an AK-47, just go behind his chair, because he got to sit the AK-47 down in his lap to turn around to your direction. That's when you get him, and all you gotta do is get his chair and pull it back to where it's kind of like leaning at that angle where he can't, his legs ain't really on the floor. And he can't really shoot down. He got to shoot up. That's an easy fix.
It just sounds so terrible.
I mean, we wouldn't have access to this dialogue if it weren't people in wheelchairs rolling up to schools with AK-47s.
True.
So why not have a sensible conversation about the best tactic to take when a person in a wheelchair rolls up to you with an AK-47 without acting like that I'm being politically incorrect? This happening now, okay? This is happening in America now. You got somebody in a wheelchair with violent tendencies. You need to know the best course of action. You know what I'm saying? Go behind the chair. Just go behind the chair.
Yeah. Well, unless he got a electronic chair like Stephen Hawkins had, where they don't spin fast enough.
You can just walk. You can just keep walking around. Make sure the back is around where you at. Okay. House get some pocket sand like Dale. Throw it in his eyes. It ain't like he can dodge it. He can't really go nowhere. He's stationary.
Have you watched King of the Hill enough to know that? I'm impressed.
Yes. Actually, no. It's a meme.
Okay. I'm like,
it's all over Reddit. Pocket sand is all over Reddit.
Yeah, because he does keep pocket sand.
Yeah, get you some pocket sand. Throw that in there. Throw it in his face. He can't move. Just throw stuff at him generally, heavy stuff. I mean, he can't go nowhere. That not gonna work if somebody run in with an AK-47 and they agile and they can, dodge and spin and move and stuff. You need a different strategy for that. But if somebody is in front of you in a wheelchair with an AK-47, all I'm saying is that there's very specific tactics that can easily keep you from being shot. What if the police wouldn't have come in this situation? You know what I'm saying? All they had to do was throw a printer at him. It would have knocked him straight back. He on his back now. He got to do that thing where he got to pick himself up with his arms from the back and then pull himself up. He can't pick his gun up is all I'm saying.
Jesus, this is, it's all true, but it just sounds so bad.
It do sound bad, but I'm saying, before this dialogue, we didn't have to talk about people in wheelchairs with AK-47. He has unlocked the dialogue in this conversation now. He's unlocked some new shit. You know, new achievement unlocked. We got to talk about people in wheelchairs with AK-47 and how to get out of that situation, okay? You know, it is what it is.
Before I talk about this story, I just want you to look at her face.
Okay.
What do you think she's upset about?
She looked like Bernie Sanders.
She does. I didn't even notice that. She looks like a black Bernie Sanders. But no, what do you think she's mad about?
I think she is mad because her child talked back and she don't play that shit, and she beat the child. But that ain't why she mad. She mad because DHR came and took the child away.
And this is a mugshot.
And she feel like she's justified for what she did. So her anger is rooted in the fact that she believes she's okay with doing what she did, but somebody came and told her she can't do what she did after her kid talked back to her. So now she mad at the system and the child.
Okay. She pulled a gun on a Domino's employee for forgetting her hot wings.
Damn.
Look, hot wing. Well, Domino's hot wings ain't worth pulling on gun.
Well, listen. Your solution need to be focused on getting your hot wings. Pulling a gun on the Domino's worker ain't gonna get you no closer to no damn wings. First off, no Domino's worker will ever come to your house again. And when you call them to make an order, they're gonna say, that's that crazy gun-toting bitch about the wings.
No, she was at the store. It was a pickup order.
Come on, ma'am. Ma'am, all you gotta do is say, what about my wings? Like, did you really not have time to wait on your wings to cook? They people, they make mistakes. But you know what? You pulling a gun on them means you're crazy.
Oh, okay. So they did deliver it to her home. She didn't look at it before the person left. When she looked, there were no wings. So she went up to the store and said, y'all forgot my wings. But instead of her just going to the store and being like, yo, y'all forgot my wings, I want some wings, she went in waving a gun like, bitch, where my wings?
When I worked at Papa John's policy was if we forgot something, we got to take that shit back. They would call us and say, come back to the store, get these wings, and take them to the person that you forgot to put them in the bag for.
I don't even think she called. She just went up there.
Listen, she woke up this morning and said, I'm pulling a pistol on somebody today. Okay? I don't know who it is, but amongst my normal day ramblings, shenanigans, and bullshit, if somebody fuck with me wrong, they getting this pistol pulled on their ass. That gotta be the case. It's the only thing that makes sense. She should have just went up to that bitch, got her wings, and not just her wings. She could have just said some simple shit like, y'all really not gonna reimburse me with some extra wings for making this trip?
Because
they would have gave them extra
here.
wings.
Yep.
They would have gave her extra wings. And so when shit like this happen to me with food, my whole goal and mindset is around getting that food. Now her fucking ass didn't eat no wings, didn't eat no pizza, is sitting in the damn jail. Don't know where her next meal gonna come from, and ain't no Domino's in this damn country finna let her come in there and get some wings in the future.
Domino wing? I don't go to Domino's for wings. I mean, I understand if you order pizza from there, you just get the wings. Their wings are not good though. Wings from Domino's are not good.
Let me tell you a secret about pizza place wings. They're the most expensive shits that you will ever buy anywhere. They are marked up so damn high. I just have no idea why. It's like they prices because they come from magical chickens or some shit. These ain't magical chicken wings. These are regular fucking chicken wings that ain't even high quality because you don't fry them. You got to put them through this oven.
Oh, and
I ain't saying oven wings ain't good.
I'm not a fan. I like
Pizza Hut wings are okay. I didn't know they was, but my roommate ordered some the other day and they were delicious.
I like crispy. Even if it's sauce on it, I want them crispy.
They were crispy for some reason. They were crispy. So, I mean, but they were dry rub wings.
Okay.
They were like lemon pepper wings. So I guess they get to run them through and they be crispy, but they was
Man, them them boneless dry rub lemon pepper boneless wings I got from Hooters was delicious. I love them.
They were
shits.
delicious. I don't normally do.
They were so good.
I don't normally do those wings, but I feel like so. Hooters has all you can eat wings on Mondays, and anytime I go on
We need
Mondays,
to go back. I want to get some more.
anytime I have wings on Mondays, it's bone-in wings.
Mm-hmm.
But Wednesday they do just boneless. So I feel like if I wanted Hooters outside of Monday, I think I could do the boneless now because
They're
yours
good.
was actually
Them
good.
dry rub, they were
Lemon
dry
pepper?
rub lemon pepper boneless, but they were so good. Oh.
Yeah, I had them before, but for some reason they weren't as good as the one you gave me. But I feel like that was wrong the first time, and this is right.
Them
because
shits was good.
If you ever eat something at a restaurant that is delicious and it's not delicious before, when it was delicious, that was right. So that means the potential for it to get back that way is possible.
They were really good. I thought about them wings the other day. I'm still hungry.
Good.
They were good though. But not good. Even those, they were bomb as fuck. I would not have gone into Hooters with a gun for them wings though. And they were delicious.
So, I want to ask you a question
Okay.
after I talk about this situation.
Okay.
So, Marvel's poster left off
Denai.
Okoye. I don't know how to say her name.
Denai. Yeah, I don't know.
Denai Guerrera.
Guerrera, something like that.
They left her name off, and
They did.
Twitter went ham like they
did.
do. And it was, black women always get treated like this.
Yeah.
Now, so my question is, are we coming to a point where we crown wolf, or is that a legitimate? Like, do we think that this was an effect of racism and a black person just being left? Like, this is this racism, and we have a right to look at this and say, listen, this always happened to black people, specifically black women get the short end of the stick a lot of time, or is this just seemingly an oversight that ain't that big of a deal?
It wasn't that big of a deal to me, to be honest. Like, I saw it and I was just kind of like, okay. I mean, listen, we do get the short end of the stick. Black women, Jesus Christ, that we do. But when I saw this, I was just kind of like, I don't know if I would be this upset about it. Like, I wouldn't have even noticed it, to be honest, because she's on the cover. Like, I wouldn't have noticed that her name was missing because I would have saw her and been like, ah. Like, so without Twitter going insane about her name being left off, I probably wouldn't even notice that shit, to be honest with you. So I don't know if this is a case of them, like, leaving her off specifically because she's like the only black person on the thing. Like, I just don't know. I wasn't upset, and I didn't really understand why everybody was the level of upset that they were. I could see you being maybe a little annoyed, like, oh, they leave a black girl name off, but like, they were pissed. Like, they was big man, and I was just kind of like,
So I'm gonna
wasn't
go
upset.
into some Marvel theory from the new trailer.
Okay.
Some theory I think that's gonna happen from this.
Okay, because that trailer don't really tell you shit.
It's one part of it to me that speaks volumes.
Okay.
That part where they all had on them same Avengers suits. Mm-hmm. I think they finna go into the quantum realm. That's why I think it's been very important for Ant-Man to be a part of this, and I think it's important for us to have known that Ant-Man and the Wasp somehow found a way out of the quantum realm. So he's about to come to this movie with knowledge that we frankly need to know how he got. Because the last time we saw him, I don't know if you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
But I knew how it is. I heard about it.
Listen, the after credits scene shook the fuck out of me.
Really?
Yes. Let me tell you why. Because this was a whole fun ass, and this is a spoiler alert, everybody. If you ain't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp in the end credits, then don't listen, but I'm telling Red anyway. At the Vic, she ain't gonna watch it. At the end, not before that movie, if she do watch it.
Yeah.
At the very end. So at the very end, it was like, okay, we saved our mother out of this whole quantum realm that she been stuck in forever. Or the main girl mama, the main the main guy, his wife had been stuck in there. We've got her. She been in there for so long. She done learned so much knowledge about it. She gonna give it to us. She know how to get in, know how to get out. And at the end of this whole fun ass, cool ass movie, they got this van set up, and they got a machine set up that's gonna send him into the quantum realm. And he joking like, yeah, this is cool. So he gets into the quantum realm and starts collecting this like matter that comes from the quantum realm only. And then he say, okay guys, it's full, you can get me. And he say, guys, and he's like, this is some kind of silly joke. And so it zoomed out and it shows that they've all turned into the dust from the snap.
Oh shit!
Of Thanos.
They were part of.
Yes.
Nigga.
And so it's important in that first trailer that we see Ant-Man appear, because what the fuck, he didn't get going in the snap, but he was in the quantum zone the last time we see him. So now with this first trailer, we know he got out. And so now he got some level of knowledge about getting out that we don't know.
I wonder if he would have been part of the snap if he was out of the realm. Like, are you removed from it if you're in that realm?
I don't know. That is a good question. But it
like,
seemed like the
was
snap
he saved because he was in the realm at the time? Like,
or if he never would have been a part of it regardless.
Yeah.
It seemed like the snap was indiscriminate about life regardless of where life was. So I would think that it didn't make a difference. But one thing that I think she mentioned in there is that there are time vortexes in there as well. So I think that the solution to what's happening is going to have to do with time travel. For this.
Going back before the snap.
Something is gonna happen. But what the dude on Comics Explained, his theory is that they gonna find a way to retcon Captain America and Iron Man. Like
they're gonna find a way to what?
Remove what they've been doing this whole time.
Oh, okay.
His theory is that like Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. is gonna go back to where his parent might not have been killed, and because they gotta find a way out, like this, and they gotta find a way out for Tony Stark, or for Robert Downey Jr. and for Chris
Pine,
Captain America.
Pine, I think Chris
Pine. That's his name. That's not his name, is it? Either way, they gotta find a way out for these characters because they contracts ended. They ain't really interested in being in these movies. So he's thinking if they go back in time, they might do some stuff to change the timeline. So if, let's say, Iron Man was to go back and save his dad from dying, which means Bucky would not have killed him. Evans, that's right.
But Chris Pine is an actor.
Okay. But that's kind of his theory, but that's out there, and that's with his vast knowledge of all these different things that they've done in Marvel before. But I am interested in how they're going to do that. But I think with all them having them suits on, I said they all going somewhere together in one specific place. And
I'm
the
excited.
only place that I think that we can get them going back in time, which might seem to be the only realistic version of this, is to go to that time vortex in the quantum realm. And I think the reason that Captain Marvel is important is because I feel like she might be the only one that can actually wield. She's going to be the only one that I think that they're going to try to make sense to be able to wield the gauntlet, because she's made essentially from the Tesseract. So she's like essentially got a Infinity Stone in her whole essence.
Yeah.
I think that they got her because she's the only one that's going to realistically be able to wield it. Because in the comics, Nebula wielded it. But if you trying to make sense of why somebody can wield it, if you make it seem like only very, very strong people can wield it, it got to be somebody very, very strong.
Nebula. She's in it though. I saw
Nebula. Yeah. She's in it. She was a very big part of the comic. It would just not do an homage to the comics to leave her out, because she's actually the one that wielded the gauntlet and wished things back the way it was in the original storyline that turned into a whole bunch of, how we resolve this problem. So she had to be there.
I'm glad Rocket didn't get in the snap.
He the only one. The only Guardian of the Galaxy.
But he's my favorite. Him and Groot, all versions of Groot. So I'm glad that he's still there because he's so funny. And he's such a little.
And they had to have somebody from Wakanda. Like this setup, like it's good because they they got the core cast, but then they got Ant-Man over there, and he's gonna be an important part of the story, I believe. They got Okoye, which is the connection to Wakanda. They got Rocket, which he the technology guru, but like they have to have somebody in there
from a connection to each of these
from Guardians of the Galaxy. And they got War Machine. They got War Machine in there because they killed everybody else black that was male, so they had to keep one black male alive. Falcon gone, Black Panther gone.
Oh, that hurt my soul.
We gotta have one of them. I don't know. I wonder what Lupita's doing. I wonder what Nakia is doing in this situation because
I want to know what
M'Baku
is.
He didn't get snapped. He going back up there with the Jabari, boy. He said we shouldn't have got into that shit. But you know what? If they wouldn't have got into that shit anyway, the same people that disappeared would have snapped. They would have disappeared anyway. He just wouldn't have known why.
Yeah. The fuck is going? Wait a minute. It's dust.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But I just wanted to see because in our society, I'm an advocate for when bullshit happens. But I mentioned every now and then that scale. The bell curve where these outliers exist, where a lot of the time it is something rooted in some kind of racial or systemic thing, but there are outliers where it's just people crying wolf.
Yeah, and I feel like this because I'm like, it just wasn't. I wouldn't have even noticed her name was missing because I was looking at the post. I know who the fuck they are. I don't need to see their names. So I wouldn't even pay no attention to the names across it.
Yeah,
that never would have registered with me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't upset about it, and I was surprised at how upset other people got.
Paper was tripping.
Did you see Young Boy? Wait a minute, because all of them got this goddamn YBN Almighty J, because they all got the YBN shit in front of them. These young kids.
I know what happened to him.
He got his ass stomped out. And it's not funny. Did you see the video? Did you watch him get his ass stomped out? When I tell you they kicked him in his shit, like boom, right in his face. Not funny. It's not funny. But this would I be. So he had, I guess it was Instagram, Snapchat, somewhere he was like showing off this outfit. Oh, look at my chain. Look at the Balenciagas. Look at these pants cost this much. This shirt cost it. And so then he went out. And people were saying why he out by himself. He wasn't. But because he was the person, he was the target, what ended up happening is there was a skirmish before this where he ended up getting separated out from his crew. And they robbed his ass, took his shoes, they took his chain, they whooped his ass. You got to be careful about stunting on the gram.
With your location.
And with your location. Oh, you see this? Wait till you see the niggas. Like, they just kicked him in his shit. Like, hard. That's, I think, yeah. You see that?
Yeah, but I mean, it got worse than that after this. I think they must have started recording after this because they sliced his face. Like they sliced his whole face. Like he finna have a lifetime scar.
Damn.
And so, Jay Prince?
No.
So Jay Prince is basically the person when Drake and Pusha T was beefing, said Drake don't reply, and Drake was like, okay.
Okay.
He's pretty much a Texas OG.
Okay.
Like Roy Woods Jr., you know him, right?
I do know Roy.
He tell a story. He tell a story about prank calling Jay Prince and that being the most terrifying thing he ever done in his life.
Yeah, they used to do those.
Yes. So he went to Texas because this dude called him and said, "Hey, we're gonna do a prank show," and they did some pranks, and then they were gonna prank Jay Prince. He called Jay Prince telling him that he owed him money or something for the prank show, and he said that after he did all of that, Jay Prince said, "Where you at?" And he was like, "Excuse me." He said, "Where you at? If we got a money issue, then we need to meet up so that we can settle that money issue." And he said that he immediately said, "Look, this is a prank call. I'm Roy Woods Jr. We at the radio station. We were just doing this prank, with whatever station he was on." And he said, "Okay, so we know exactly where you at." And then hung up the phone. Roy Woods Jr. said he left and got on the plane. He got on the plane immediately and flew back to Alabama. He was like, that was the scariest moment in my
if
life.
somebody calmly, after you been yelling and saying you owe me this, blah blah blah, they calmly just be like, so where you at? No.
So
run. It's a bad thing.
So apparently YBN Almighty J is connected to J Prince. I don't know if he on the same label or whatever. I mean, he got a massive label, so it could be a lot of people on this label. He pretty much said, hey, reaching out to my New York peeps, anybody who know these guys, you know, who attacked one of people and took this Rap-A-Lot chain. I think it's Rap-A-Lot. It might be something else.
Like
but he took the chain that as a representation of my business. Y'all need to let us know that, you know, and tell them to come out and let us know, blah, blah, blah. So these dudes came out and was like, man, fuck you, OG ass nigga, man. J Prince, you can suck my dick. What's wrong with you, man? Nigga, come to New York stunting this, what's gonna happen? So 2 days ago, they were all arrested in an unrelated case of them shooting a police officer. So apparently they connected with something that happened. And you know what? I'm not going to say that an OG like J Prince have that kind of reach, but it really wouldn't be surprising if J Prince reached out to some OGs who knew what these young boys was out here doing and that was in some shenanigans, and they got caught up just because they level of disrespect that came about this situation. It would not surprise me one bit, because the thing that happened, you know, I got a buddy that lived in Chicago. He moved to California now, but I asked him, what did he think is the problem with Chicago and the violence? And he said, the problem is they got rid of the gangs. He said they made a concerted effort to target these OGs who was really keeping order in the city by not allowing people to do stuff. And it stopped from being 3 or 4 major gangs to where we didn't interact. We didn't get involved in each other's business. Like when you watch shit like Luke Cage and you see all those mob families coming together and be like, listen, we was in this territory. We in this territory. The misunderstanding we had was that your little young guy came and did this and came and did that. And they always beat the ass of the young guy and say, this is why you don't do shit when you ain't got permission. You know, and so he said that when you get rid of those OGs, it turns into a whole bunch of corner and street gangs, because they still have this gang mentality in their minds. And the reason that they got into these gangs was because they were looking for somebody in the community to connect to, because they ain't connecting with the people that they want to love them. And so they out here with these street gangs. And now, instead of it being 4 gangs that was led by people in a hierarchy, you got like these street gangs where literally from street to street to street to street, you can be getting into beef with people that's like 4 blocks away from you because you ain't never seen them before, and they wearing something you don't recognize, or they dating your cousin and you know, and it turned into some kind of beef. He said that's the problem. And so when you look at a situation like this, like, it don't surprise me that if there's some OGs in New York who J Prince could call up and say, or even radio people up there that people respect, say, listen, reach out to some OGs in the area and find out who the fuck these YBN niggas or these they were called the Jack Boys, I think. Find out who the fuck these Jack Boys is and find out what they got on them, what kind of dirt they got, because I will send my Texas goons up there for them if y'all can point them out. Or and I imagine that some New York OGs might say, we already know what they involved in. I mean, just tell us what to do. We'll make sure they get picked up. Or do you want to handle it on the street? And, you know, I imagine the OG from another place would be like, if y'all can handle it, handle it. I really don't see... but a part of me don't see OGs getting the police involved, like telling or snitching. I really don't see that happening with no OG crowd either. You know, just from watching all these OGs interviews on like Vlad TV and shit, like them niggas do not fuck with the police. Period. No. So maybe it's disconnected, but I feel like just the heat they put on themselves barrel rolled into this shit they got going on right now.
But if you ever, you know, again, I watch a bunch of documentaries. That's just what that's what I do. Any of the documentaries you've seen on gang life, there is a hierarchy. It's with the older people in the gang. Now, these young folks who be out here that get in and don't have the level of respect. No, it's still a gang and they still doing fuck shit. Do not misunderstand. But what you said about them having a level of respect where they will come together and be like, oh, okay, our young guy will handle that. They whoop the ass of whoever it is in their own gang that they need to, because there's a system in place. That is very true. And I don't think that a lot of people recognize that there is a hierarchy. There is a a system to it, or there used to be. These new young boys just out here just doing bullshit. They just, you know, young and stupid.
Just out here doing shit to do shit.
Just
and
to do
getting
shit.
caught
But
up.
I have watched documentaries on like the Crips, the Bloods, some of these other gangs, and yeah. A lot of them, when the OGs go into prison and come out, it's so fucking different on the street. Cause these kids it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, they different.
So,
They don't have principle.
no.
They're not disciplined.
Mm-mm.
You know, they don't have any boundaries. And OGs, you know, from what I know about gang life, have all of that shit.
Yep.
And they have systems in place. And they just generally all out smarter because they lived in an environment where they had to be a lot more cunning to get away with shit being black in a time where black was already more heavily targeted.
Look, organized crime, people that run organized crime, it's called organized for a reason. Okay, these are some very intelligent people a lot of times that create these systems that work. Like, it's called organized because that's what it is. It's not you out here in chaos just doing shit.
We had 2 hours.
Okay. Mama June got arrested for having drugs on her, but who the fuck is surprised? And she got arrested in
Who's
Alabama.
Mama June?
Honey boo boo mama.
Oh hell. I was gonna talk about the New Zealand shooting, but before I talk about it, I want to read at least the bulk of his manifesto. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that next week.
What?
You got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.